The Joe Rogan Experience.
A girl was filming him. A 17-year-old girl filming him with her camera. A 17-year-old girl got the George Floyd video.
Yeah, there was a lot of people out there, wasn't there?
Well, there was a 17-year-old girl's video that we all saw.
Interesting, yeah.
17-year-old girl. And a lot of people were giving her a hard time. Saying,
She
why didn't
didn't-
you do something? A fucking cop, a 17-year-old girl, a
Yeah.
grown man is killing another grown man.
Yeah.
You want her to step in? Really?
Yeah, it is.
Deep state.
What
It's all a long game. It's 4D chess.
What are your thoughts on what has transpired since?
Look, that gives me hope. When I see 50,000 people walking
beautiful,
through
isn't it?
downtown
Yeah.
LA, all peacefully protesting, that
Yep.
gives me hope. There's a real chance for a real shift.
Yeah.
A real shift. It's also, here's the thing that bugs me.
Yeah.
All that money they came with to bail out all these corporations from the coronavirus, the pandemic, why couldn't they have used that money already to bail out these inner cities? Why couldn't they have found the money they have all these cities that have this systemic crime and violence and racism that's been going on forever. Places like Baltimore that are directly fucked up as a result of racist practices in selling houses, and they don't do anything to fix that. They never try to stop where the crime is coming from.
Yeah.
They never try to make those cities better. They never try to add community centers and figure out a way to do something. Whether there's nothing on the table, it's just crime-ridden neighborhoods, just how they are, forever.
Yeah, crime doesn't matter until it affects the pockets. Like if the crime is happening in a poor neighborhood and it's not affecting somebody's money, then nobody cares. The second they started breaking windows on Fifth Avenue. Now all of a sudden, it's more. Now all of a sudden it's really fucked up.
What's wild about de Blasio just says, stand down, let them do it.
Yeah.
Let them burn themselves out.
We did this in the video, but it was really interesting because I had to really process how I felt about it, because the looting obviously was wrong, and we did that clip on it, but the rioting I understood, and I think I can justify. I was talking to this, I won't say his name because he's a college professor. I don't want to get him, in trouble for talking to us and helping us out, a distinguished gentleman, and we're these ruffians. But he's really savvy with constitutional law and stuff. And he said this argument I thought was really interesting. When it comes to riots, not looting, destruction of property is wrong, and you're doing it to benefit yourself when you loot, right? You're taking advantage of the tragedy, right? The tragedy is a smokescreen so that you can benefit, right? And we made an interesting distinction, like any Instagram model that's also taking a picture at the thing, but not really actually doing anything. It was like, you're looting too. You're enriching yourself.
Did you see that one chick that borrowed the guy's drill and said, take a picture
That's the one that we did it, and it was like...
That is crazy.
That's looting, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're enriching yourself off of tragedy. That's fucking looting, right?
Yes.
So, peaceful protest, obviously great. Looting, wrong. Rioting in the middle, which is destruction of property, right? To send this message. And as Mark and I were putting together the piece, we're talking to this dude, and he made this interesting point. He goes, as a citizen, you have the right to, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, but also property, right? And if the state is destroying the most valuable piece of property that you have, which is your body, right? You have to take some sort of recourse in order to protect that, right? They broke the social contract. They broke it, right? When they maybe are shooting you or shooting your neighbors, etc. You peacefully protest. If that goes on deaf ears for decades, what the fuck else are you supposed to do? What? You can keep saying peacefully protest, but if it keeps on happening, there really isn't anything else available to you. So the next thing is destruction of property. I think the best way to do it would probably be destroy public property, not private property. But if you destroy public property, you'd actually be taking the high road, because that's a response to having life destroyed. You destroy my life, I just fuck up your park. Who's reasonable here?
Well, if it was all coordinated and thought that way, yes. And I think what happened in Minnesota, in particular what happened with the police precinct,
right,
where they burnt that fucking thing down to the ground, that was fascinating to me. It's when it spreads across the country, and then it just becomes two things. It becomes peaceful protest, people mad at the cops, and then looting. And the looting is different.
Unacceptable.
But
looting unacceptable.
What's crazy is, along the way, we get more evidence of police brutality. Instead of the cops saying, hey, this guy killed this guy, it makes us all look terrible. We are not like that. We're better than that. Most of them probably did do that. But a lot of them, they fell back to their cop ways. They fell back to their ways of smashing fucking shields into people,
Yep.
running over pedestrians,
Yep.
all the crazy shit that we saw. Shooting a guy in the fucking face with a tear gas canister.
Yep.
You see that? They pepper sprayed him and then they shot him with a flashbang right in the fucking face.
Really?
Oh my God.
He ate
it's
that.
crazy.
He stayed alive?
I think Joe Schilling has that on his Instagram page. There's a fucking my friend Joe Schilling, who's a kickboxer.
Yeah.
He's been saying for the last 6-7 days, it's not one bad apple. He goes, look at all these fucking asshole cops that are doing shit. So he's putting video after video after video after
Yeah.
video after video of cops grabbing a woman by the neck and throwing her to the ground, slamming. She's just like, what are you saying to me? Why do I have to listen to you? He's like, fucking get on the ground. Just grab her, macing people, macing young girls, macing people for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
This one guy was talking shit to the cops, so the cops just walk right up to him, pepper spray him, drag him, throw him to the ground. You're taking away his freedom of speech.
Yeah.
The guy's not committing a crime.
Yep.
You're violating the First Amendment.
Yep.
You're violating his constitutional rights.
You're breaking the social
So
construct.
my friend Joe has video after video after video of this, and I think one of them, I don't know if he has that in there, but one of them is this dude gets pepper sprayed in the face,
And then
they fucking
tear gas cannon.
flashbang him, bang! I mean, it hits him right off the dome. It's crazy. So many people got fucked up.
Yeah. My buddy is he's a captain in the Marines, right? And or he was, and he was in Iraq. And he goes, here's why I have no tolerance whatsoever for police brutality. When we were in Iraq, the mission changed. And it went from go in there and fuck shit up, that's how it is when you're trying to win a war, to win minds and hearts. And they explained to us while we were there, we're winning minds and hearts, and that means you guys are going to have to take on more risk. That means you don't just kick in the door and then light it up. You have to make sure that you're not taking out innocents. At least try. You are taking on more risk. You are risking your life. So he goes, when I see police brutality, I'm like, if we can afford that luxury to a country that we're at war with, how the fuck can we not afford that luxury to our own citizens? He goes, if I'm told to take on more risk, then maybe these cops have to take on more risk and pay them for it. Increase payment, increase training. Don't defund, but increase and increase the requirements and really make them heroes. But he said this, he was like, it seemed to me that the culture of policing in America, and I could be wrong, we got to talk to cops about it, but this, what he said, it seems to me is that the idea is no cop ever gets left behind. No cop ever goes down, instead of protecting people at all costs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, poke holes if you can.
No, it makes sense. Well, I'm fully in agreement that they need better funding. It needs to be a higher paying job that's much more difficult to get.
Yep.
But when you see cops throw that old man to the ground, he bounces his fucking head off the ground. You see the blood come out of his head, and no one does anything.
Yep.
No one stops him.
Yeah.
No one picks the guy up. No one calls an ambulance.
Yeah.
No one checks on him.
Yeah.
That you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not serving. That's not protecting. A guy said something you didn't like, so you threw him to the ground. You knew he was old and feeble. You knew he was.
And you did it with potentially a confidence of knowing that nothing would happen to you. There wouldn't be any recourse. Yeah. And that's when people go like, a bad apple ruins a bunch. And it's like, no, it doesn't. You just remove the bad apple. But if you can't remove the bad apple,
right?
If there's systems in play that don't allow it, then it ruins the bunch. So if there's one systemic change we make, maybe it's people get prosecuted or cops will get prosecuted for violating the law. Because I really would I'd really love if we had this relationship with the cops where we're like, fuck, you guys are brave, man. Thank you. Like, fuck. Because it is a fucking dangerous job.
Yeah.
And thankless in a lot of ways.
A lot of ways.
So it's like, how do we shift this, and how much risk do they have to take, or what change do we make so that we can look at them and go, thank God we got these guys around, because fuck, it's scary sometimes.
Listen to what you said about your friend being in the Marines. It's fucking hard to get through boot camp, man.
Yeah.
It's hard.
You're
hard.
right. There's a fucking...
Yeah. There's a long road that you have to travel to be a Navy SEAL, right? That's how it should be to be a cop, man. It should be fucking hard to make it. And they should weed out the people that are assholes, the people that are sociopaths, the people that just would be willing to lean their shin on a man's neck for 8.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Those people are sick.
Yeah.
You got to find those people before they get to the position where they could do that to a person.
And how do you do that? How do you
gotta
do
train
psych evals or
yes, you got to train them. You got to
MK
train them.
Ultra?
You got to train them like they are the type of people that potentially could fucking kill somebody for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
You got to train them like you're weeding them out. Like, this is a great honor. And we can shift that, but we have to think about it in terms of allocation of resources. Cops don't get paid enough.
Yeah.
Teachers don't get paid enough either, though, and they're not killing their kids.